Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. It's a quick one. Quick and simple. So my man Eric, the Arizona Bladesman, just sent me 2 knives that he needed sharpening. This one was a kit he got where he put together, and you can see what it is. I remember him doing the video on this guy. And another one was just the blade without him putting it together. So apparently they send these knives without an edge. You can see it's got a round edge. So no matter what, you know, unless you're going tip in, you're not going to hurt anybody with this thing yet. So what he did is he asked me for a favor if I would be able to sharpen, then resend him. And, you know, he's an Arizona guy, so I figure, of course, that's my man. So so what I decided to do is take the edge, which is like this, and do a little debad process to it where I begin with some stonework by hand. Takes me a little while, and I'm going to show you my process. Then I go down on 2 different belt grinders. I use a 4-inch belt grinder that's a little round, so I only use it to clean off what I just did with the stone. Then I go to my 1-inch belt grinder, and I start, and you can see I already did this. So I came up and I tested it, and it said, woo, look at that. It cuts paper. So I figure it's got to be sharp, right? It's got to be sharp if it cuts paper, even though that's not the way I like to test my edges. But Arizona Bladesman. So here you go. Here's the first one. And it's right there. Now, this is hand done. This isn't the ones we're going to be doing with Twisted Mister. We're going to be doing some different kind of sharpening. Joe's got some crazy equipment, so we're going to be doing that. But this one is done as a favor, so I'm doing everything by hand. It takes a little while, but it gets there. And you can see that edge is looking mighty nice. And that's all no jigs. That's all just right there. So that came out pretty sharp right there. And just took some hairs. So I'm going to oil this one up. I'm going to put it away. I'm going to send it to you, Eric, and you are going to be pretty happy, especially going from a blade with no edge on it at all to getting an edge that is going to actually be deadly. All right, I'm not going to saw my hand with this one. So let's go over some of the steps. Hold on a second. Put down my screwdriver. All right, so I'm going to use a Lansky sharpener to first rough up the edge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little piece of paper on the blade so we don't rough up the blade. So what I'm going to do here is stick this. Now, because it's really long, I'll do it in 2 halves. All right, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to, let's see if this will fit over there. Ooh, take some time. And it needs to loosen a little bit, so I'm going to loosen it a little bit. And maybe a little bit more. And here we go. So now I'm slipped over. Now I'm going to take my screwdriver and tighten it up so it doesn't shift on me. And being a long, narrow blade like this, it's not going to be a chopping blade. He's not going to be out there chopping down trees, so I know I can go with a thinner edge, making it more of a slasher. And I think that's pretty much what he's going to want out of it anyway. So I hope, because that's what I'm giving you, Eric. I'm giving you a slasher's edge. And I got my fine stone out. Let's get the rough stone out so we can take away some material. Now with the Lansky, all you do is you take your little peg here, you stick it through your hole there. Well, not your hole there. You gotta be careful. Just stick it through a hole. No, wait, no, not that a hole. All right, so then I'm gonna tighten it up. Bada boom, bada bing. That's good. So we are going to go with a 20-degree edge on this guy right here. So I have it in my 20-degree edge hole, and I'm just going to begin the process of making an edge happen. And I'm going to do this for probably about a half hour to 15 minutes on each side. So it's going to take a little while. Let's see if I can, not really, it doesn't show up yet, but you can see a little bit of the scratch in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start getting my 20-degree angle, because when I go to the belt grinder, I have to be able to eyeball and hold it really still that 20 degrees. And it really helps to be able to see it if I already have an angle on there. And that's why I'm going to be doing this over and over and over again. So this is what it comes down to, is just over and over and over again, making a 20-degree angle in the steel. And I can see how round this edge is, so I know I've got a lot of work to do on this blade. And you could see, try to show you, you could see, let's clean that up a little bit. You can see it's starting to happen now. You can see two different colors there. That's because it's so round that everything I just carved out hasn't even reached the edge yet. Right here is new, right here is still old. So I have to do a lot of that. The only way to do it, if I took a 25-degree cut on it, let's see if 25 degrees real quick would just get down to the edge. Now remember, when you're using a Lansky, go only this way on your final sharpening. Don't go back and forth, because it's all in where you're pushing the steel. So let's see. Yeah, that's how round it is. It hasn't even reached it yet. So it's going to take me a little while. I'm going to work on both sides of this. Then I'm going to take it down. Then I'm going to come back up, and I'm going to use a fine stone, and I'm going to single direction it until it's very, very good. So I've got about an hour to go right here. All right, I'll get back to you. All right, so I'm getting ready to hit the belt sanders, and I will show you what I'm looking at here. All right, a huge, huge difference, as you can see. So I have already what, I mean, I wouldn't want to get stabbed by it. That's not cutting enough in hairs yet, but I wouldn't want to go in against the skin at any rate of speed. You could see, well, hopefully it's not too blurry. It's coming through. So now I'm going to wrap around. I'm just going to put you guys right there. I'm going to wrap around to this one, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So this one, I can put my hand on it. It's not going to chew up my hand. It's not bad. I just want to clean up what I just did. So just kind of work it over, just to clean off any burrs, anything like that. And that's literally all I'm doing on that one. The major work is coming right over here on this little 1-inch Harbor Freight job right here. And there's no jig attached to it, so literally everything is by eyeball. So what I have to do is go very carefully back and forth. Now, I don't know if these two blades are heat treated and tempered. I have no idea. So I have to be careful. I can't just keep going, because I can end up overheating it and ruin the heat treat. Since I don't know if there's a heat treat or not, I'm going to be very careful, and I'm not going to go too much. So I will do some stop, do some stop, do some stop. But this process is going to take up a little bit of my time for the rest of the night. So let me get to it. All right, so we're talking pretty good right there in the edge. Oh, let's see if I can get it smooth. Now all I got to do is smooth it out, take off all the little tiny burrs. But that edge is pretty sharp, so you can see all the little burrs right here. Let me see if I can wipe some of that off. A lot of it's crud, just the burrs, all the little shavings get on there. Now it's better, and it makes it look like it's junky, but it's not. How's that? How's that? Not so bad. Not so bad. Done by hand, no jig, all by eye. All right, all right. So you went from no edge to an edge. Sure, it takes a while, and I'm not even done, but it's completely worth it. It just makes it so much better knowing that there's an edge on there. And yeah, I mean, ooh, yeah, I wouldn't want it crossing against my neck, I'll tell you that. But Arizona Bladesman, ooh wee, it's almost done. All right. Let me turn down this old TV. Oh. So it took a little while, but you got a fresh coat of oil. The edge, of course, now that the oil is on there, you can't really tell. The edge on this one is nice. It's a very thin edge. It's going to be good for slashing skin. And this one on here, I made the edge slightly thicker. I wanted it more meaty because it's kind of a meatier knife. So I wanted it to be able to handle more tasks. And I didn't want to go too thin because I don't know what you're going to do with it, and I don't want you to chip the edge because I don't know what the heat treat is on these. If I knew what the heat treat it was, who knows, maybe we could have gone a little bit more, but that's still sharp. That's still there. That's still there. You went from 2 round edges to 2 sharp edges. Not too bad, man. Not too bad. And this one I have to say, I haven't checked this one yet. Well, that's pretty pokey. This one right here, that tip is like a needle. Ooh, I found out. Boop, boop. Don't do that. So, here it is, my man. Your blades have been sharpened, as they say in Massachusetts. That's sharp. It's wicked sharp. Not so bad, man. Not so bad. I will be getting these back in the mail, back to Arizona, and you will be all right, out of sight. That's it. Peace out. I am down to be all day. Until next knife.